Do you use any apps in particular as well?
No, no, not for meditating. No, it's just simply no noise, phone, timer on the couch, comfortable, and just concentrating on my breathing. And then I get surprised when the alarm goes off in a couple of minutes' time, and then I move on to the next part of my morning routine. So that's, and I've done that routine now for what, three and a half so years. So it's something that I'm used to now, but I would encourage everybody just to start small and don't try and sit there and meditate, like a Buddhist monk for 10 or 20 minutes. Just start off with, 10 or 20 seconds. Do that. The next day, just try and stretch a little bit further.
Yeah. And Scott, I mean, the way, like I said, it's finding what works for you, because,
Of
like I
course.
said, I don't often do it silent. I actually like to focus on something. So I actually like to focus on like I'll put some music in the background, but it might be what they call the crystal bowls. So it might be a crystal bowl, and that I believe in sort of raising vibrations and in your body and in your energy. So Scott, it's really, I said, there's no right or wrong of meditation, and don't judge yourself either when those thoughts come in, and they always come in. If I'm sitting there and I'm and I'm like, oh, what do I have to do? And and you sort of go, oh no, thank you, thanks for coming by. I'll talk to you later. And don't judge yourself. And if you feel you want to focus on something, and sometimes it's just listening to yourself to be able to say, what does my body need? What does my soul need today? And if it is visualization, then focus on that. And I think it's important. The one that I've been practicing on myself, and for a while, is that idea of focus. So whether it's focusing on breathing or focusing on image in your mind, and for me, what's really calming is water. So I love visualizing myself on a riverbank and looking out to the water, and then listening if I've got music in the back, so listening to the water sounds. So Scott, I find something that works for you. There are very good apps if you want to start off with. There's one that's called Calm, and it'll be a guided meditation. I find that actually quite good to for a lot of beginner meditators to start with. But it's finding what works, right? And everyone's going to be different. So there you go. Thanks for the question there, Scott. Let's see if there's anyone else. Hi, Tony, Richie, Clay. How you doing? Wave. Hello, everyone's back. Jin, so in essence, you replace the distracting thought with let's get through this period. Replace the distracting thought. It's more so just bringing it back. So the way I look at it is going, all right, do. Oh, hi, how are you? I'll talk to you later, and push it back, and then it sort of gently bring yourself back to what you were focusing on. If it's the breath, bring it back, because the monkeys will always want to talk. I've got little monkeys in my head, and they'll always sort of find their way in. So it's just as Jin, it's saying, thank you for coming, but I'll look after you later. At the moment, I'm looking after. Scott, thanks. I've been doing what you mentioned, Tony. Just thought I may have been going about it the wrong way. I said, you always find whatever works for you. I have found meditation. I used to rush it. I don't know about you. Be like a task, my task list, tick, 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 done 10 minutes. But I realized that I wasn't really focusing and being in the moment. And when I realized how beneficial it was to my life and how I was able to manage my emotions or my thoughts or my relationships better, it's almost, I've almost made it, it's almost like a drug now. Like I need to have it in the morning.
What's the objective? You know what I mean? So is the objective to tick a box, or is the objective to improve yourself from a calmative, help yourself from a health and wellness point of view? And obviously it's the latter, right? It's not about ticking a box. So you just want to ask yourself, what's the objective? I'd love to know, Scott, who's asking the questions, how you're finding the process since you've been starting. Are you noticing a difference? Would love to know. And you don't have to do this in the morning either. So it could be before you've got a big meeting, for example, or it might be a meeting with a real estate agent, and you might be getting a little bit uptight about it, perhaps a bit anxious about it. Get yourself into a mindful state, slow your breathing down, calm yourself down, and then you can get in there and ask whatever it is that you want to ask of the agent or whoever the meeting's with.
What Scott says, excellent, thanks for the feedback. Jin, he was referring to your meditation technique when he asked the question about let's get through this period. I think we talked about
We've addressed that, yeah.
Richie, how are you doing? And Jin's got the little monkeys. Oh yeah, that's it. The monkeys.
The monkeys. That's it.
We got to deal with those monkeys. So yeah, meditation. Oh my goodness. Obviously there's definitely interest in how we meditate or the benefits of meditation. Might be something we talk about a little bit more next week. But
yes. So what's tonight's topic, Cheryl? I've got to get you back on track.
Tonight's topic is sales.
Sales.
We're going to talk about sales, and I know you've got a background in marketing and sales.
Correct. Yeah, spent 25 years in it, so made a career of it. And for me, sales comes down to mindset. And I'm sure people watching go, oh, well, I'm not surprised, given Tony always focuses on mindset. But a lot of people have negative connotations towards sales. They're worried they're going to sell to someone, etc. And you need to change your mindset in regards to your helping people, adding value, solving problems, etc. And you may have heard of this before, but a lot of people really struggle when you tell them, say to them that they've got to sell, or they think about the fact they've got to sell. If you just start to change that mindset, and we've talked about it from a public speaking point of view, right? It's no different, where we talk about, rather than focusing internally, focus externally. Focus on the fact that I've got something of value that I'm wanting someone else to have, because I know it's going to improve their situation, whatever it might be. It might be a good or a service or whatever it is. When you start to change your mindset around the fact that I've got something that can help that person, then all of a sudden you'll want to do that a whole lot more. And for those of us who have negative connotations around sales, the reality is that we spend our whole life selling, right? You think about all the things that you do as parents. We are selling the whole time to our children. We are negotiating with our children, are we not? Right? I mean, my goodness. And I feel that, my boy is 16, my girl's 14. I feel that the negotiations are getting harder and harder and harder. So I'm having to draw on, all the various tools in my toolbox. Constantly negotiating with our partners. Meals that we might want to eat, or restaurants that we want to eat at, or TV channels that we want to watch. I mean, when you stop and think about it, we're negotiating, persuading, compromising, but we're doing it our whole life. And, obviously this is to talk about the business of selling and linking it then back into property. But the reality is that we spend our life selling quite often.
Unless it's in my household, it's a dictatorship, and you just say, this is what we're
doing. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's no debate.
No, it's yes, dear. Jin says, yeah, most salespeople try to ram their products down your throat, and you think, I never want to be like them. And that's really interesting. Is there a stigma attached to sales? And it seems like, they're a salesperson. It's sort of like, are you a second car salesperson? And why is it almost, she says sales is fun, and that's cool. I'd really like to understand from Richie's perspective why, how he's made it fun, and why there is this stigma around sales or sales.
Well, sure. So the stigma is because there has been people, less than reputable people, who have caused the stigma. Right, and whether it be trying to ram something down your throat that you don't want, whether it being unscrupulous, not trustworthy, so on and so forth. These are the reasons that there's this negative connotation or negative stigma around sales. I mean, Richie's comment around make sales fun. I mean, that's just adjusting your mindset, right? I mean, that's an awesome approach, and it's like it's something that needs to be done. So create a game out of it. Have some fun with it. I'll give you an example from not so much sales, but in regards to putting in offers on property. So we talk about that you need to put in so many offers onto various properties in order to get the one. So it's like a funnel, right? And if, for example, you want to earn $100,000 from your first property development deal, and you need to put 100 offers in, then each offer is worth $1,000. Now, you don't physically get the $1,000, but it's about playing a game with yourself to go, well, I've just put an offer in, there's $1,000. I put another offer in, there's another $1,000, because you know that by the time you put 100 in, that you're going to secure the deal that you want, and there's the $100,000. So that's just one example of games, but you need to use, various tricks, etc., to make it fun. Have games, so challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to overcome the rejection, the objections, so on and so forth. So I think it's great, Richie. A wonderful, wonderful approach.